fuck is good, man? Real estate say shit. You already know what the fuck is happening. You already know what the fuck is lit. So we posted here today. We got to talk about the ongoing Big Sean Kanye West saga. So I basically covered it in the last video. I basically talked about how Kanye went completely like fucking... what would I say? Like his response to a lot of the shit in the Drink Champs interview that is now deemed legendary, because this nigga basically broke down this everything that has been going through this nigga's head in a rare ass interview. He basically threw hella shade towards a lot of people, but the biggest shade that he threw to was Big Sean. And in the time that he was throwing shade to Big Sean, he basically said that Big Sean is the fucking worst decision that he's ever made as in his life to sign that nigga. Now, I don't know if it's because of anything having to do with music. I don't really think that he said that in anything saying like this music's trash, because this nigga really carried the label all throughout the late 2010s. So to say that this nigga is bad is kind of like fried, like but I don't think that's what he was saying. He was saying it was because of his presidential candidacy. He didn't support him. Kanye's bipolar and shit, so I kind of feel him. He needs people supporting him or whatever. So after that, Big Sean sort of just goes on, I wouldn't say he goes crazy, but he goes definitely next level on Twitter, and he basically says Kanye didn't have the same energy when he was fucking talking to him earlier, and he just seen him like a couple days ago. Now, the crazy thing about all this shit is he basically, fans are basically supporting him on Twitter. They basically say, yo, Big Sean, like how you should respond to this and that. And Big Sean basically opens up and somebody says like, yo, this man Kanye is literally talking crazy right now, and he's saying all this shit, but he owes Big Sean fucking like $3 million, and he still didn't give him his masters. Because remember, a couple months back when Big Sean, I think it was like a couple weeks back, people were saying how Kanye had promised Big Sean that he would give his masters back. He still hasn't given this nigga his masters back. He's been too busy on his nomad shit to really even give him his masters back. So he basically went and fucking said all this shit, and apparently he still owes Big Sean $3 million, and then Big Sean chimes in and says more like $6 million. And he basically is implying that Kanye owes this nigga around $3 to $6 million. That's probably in like label shit that's like caught up. And then on top of that, he probably still owes this nigga his masters, because his master catalog is probably way more than like $3 to $6 million. Like Big Sean's master catalog is probably worth at least 50 to 100, I would say. Maybe like 50. Let's say 50. If Lil Wayne, what did he sell his masters for? Like several hundred million, but it was probably a deal. So it's like this nigga still hasn't have access to his master's catalog. So if he were to pass in the future or anything, not if, but when he passes in the future, he's not even gonna really be able to pass down the shit to his kids, you know? And Kanye's rich as fuck. But maybe that's why Kanye was saying that, like he felt that signing Big Sean was his worst decision. And it's really just because it boils down to he didn't want to have to deal with all this shit, especially when niggas go behind his back and snake him, as he feels in his bipolar world, that like he went behind his back and betrayed him. So he's like, yo, it's not even worth the hassle of having to do this shit, having to do all this, give up the masters, fucking put all this money into this nigga just for this nigga to leave his label. That's really Kanye's side. But then Big Sean's looking at it like, man, you talking all this shit right now, all this craziness in this interview, when this nigga barely does interviews. So you know it's gonna be some viral ass shit. Well, no matter what the fuck he does, it's gonna have sound clips on sound clips. And you're taking the time to hate on me when all I did was sit here, be patient, understand your bipolar disorder, understand all this other shit, not talk shit about you when you owe me fucking $6 million, not sending lawyers to you, just being loyal, staying by you because you were the first person that signed me. And I don't know, man. He also said that he wasn't being political when he was like fucking in the fucking like election and shit. But it's just like wild to see all this unfold. I guess Good Music as a whole is over. I don't even know who the fuck is still signed to Good Music. I just dropped the video prior. Niggas were commenting saying, yo, like, I don't know, like the only person left on Good Music is Pusha T, and that's the president of Good Music. So it's like, I don't even know what the fuck niggas doing anymore. Good Music is already fucking gone, down the hill, down the drain. It's been gone for a little bit, but it hasn't really been relevant since the 2010s, like how it was supposed to be. And like this nigga basically I don't know if Kanye ran it into the ground. I don't know if everybody kind of ran everything into the ground, but it's like, it's not looking good. I don't like, good music is not, I don't know if it's still an entity, but it's like, I don't even know who the fuck is still signed to it. If you know who is still signed to good music, please let me know, because apparently Kid Cudi's not signed anymore. Designer, I mean, that nigga's been gone. Like, and I don't know, like when you look at the whole Ye Big Sean situation, like maybe Ye doesn't even have, I have a feeling that Ye doesn't even have complete control over Big Sean's masters. Like I feel like he might have a percentage of it, but it's like, I know Good Music is an imprint, I'm pretty sure through Def Jam or another major label, so maybe they have control over this nigga's like everything. And maybe Kanye's not even the person that should be like, he might be the founder, but it's like a lot of these fucking labels, especially when it starts back then, they have other labels that are bigger, that are kind of like the main label, that are behind the scenes doing all the distributing and doing all the work and shit. And a lot of the times when you're going through these like things and you're a subsidiary for another company, a lot of shit gets lost in translation. That could definitely be the case, and he's not even the one that's in charge of the money that's owed to Big Sean, or the one in charge of his masters completely, because it's like, that's how the record industry is. They make it difficult like this on purpose. They don't want niggas to be getting paid out. Now if Kanye's talking all this shit and he fucking doesn't fucking like, and he is the one in control of all this shit, like I really don't see that being the case. But if he is the one that's in control of all this shit and he's just talking hella shit, then that's fucked up. But I really don't think that Kanye is the one that's in charge of all the masters and everything. Like I really feel like, you really think that this nigga is spending all his time doing this, running a brand, doing everything, and making music, and doing Sunday service, and being in charge of the label on a hands-on? I feel like he's more likely, the person that he has to look for is Pusha T, who's the goddamn president of Good Music. So he's the one that's really calling the shots. On top of that, you have to look at the label that's fucking like pushing all the shit from there. In order, like, this nigga's never gonna get the money to do that shit if you don't fucking like hit up those people. But I figured that he's probably gonna say something like this because he's gonna go on Drink Champs, he said himself, and he wants to set the record straight. So until we fucking hear what Big Sean has to say, we don't know the complete story. But hey man, real say shit, you already know what the fuck going on, man. We posted, like, comment, subscribe, support black owned business, you already know. Hey man, I just dropped some clothes and shit, link in the description. Go check that shit out. Go cop some masks, go cop some clothes, all that shit. Go show some love, man, because I'll show love back. Real stay safe shit, you already know what the fuck going on. Oh yeah, and follow the goddamn Instagram at staysafe.world. We out.